It was the last night I ever slept alone. I didn't know it at the time, of course. Back then, it was just another Tuesday. A boring, uneventful Tuesday that would end like any other, or so I thought. I live in a small, one-bedroom apartment on the third floor of an old building. The kind of place with creaky floors and pipes that groan like a dying beast in the middle of the night. I'd lived there for 3 years, and I was used to its quirks. The strange noises were just part of its charm, a symphony of old age that I'd learned to tune out. That night, though, the symphony had a new instrument, one I didn't recognize. It started subtly. A soft scratching sound from the corner of my bedroom near the antique wardrobe I'd bought at a flea market. I dismissed it at first. A mouse, maybe? The building was old after all. I turned over, pulling the covers tighter around my shoulders, and tried to fall back asleep. But the scratching came again, a little louder this time. Scrape, scrape, scrape. It was rhythmic, deliberate. Not like a frantic mouse. I sat up and switched on my bedside lamp. The warm yellow light flooded the room, chasing the shadows into the corners. I stared at the wardrobe. It stood silent and imposing, its dark wood seeming to absorb the light. The scratching had stopped. Nothing, just an old piece of furniture and a silence that now felt heavy, expectant. I told myself I was being paranoid, my mind playing tricks on me in the pre-sleep haze. I switched off the light and lay back down, my heart still beating a little faster than it should. I must have drifted off for a bit because when I opened my eyes again, the room was darker, colder. The feeling of being watched was so intense it was almost a physical pressure. You know that feeling, right? When the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you just no asterisk, someone else's eyes are on you. I held my breath, straining to listen over the sound of blood pounding in my ears. A floorboard creaked, not with the familiar groan of the old building, but with the sharp, distinct sound of a footstep. It was near the foot of my bed. I kept my eyes shut tight, pretending to be asleep. It's a childish instinct, isn't it? The belief that if you can't see them, they can't see you. But my mind was racing. Who could be in my apartment? I had locked the door, I was sure of it. The deadbolt, the chain, the whole routine. Then I heard the breathing. It was slow, ragged, and close. So close I could almost feel the phantom warmth of it on my face. My body was screaming at me to run, to scream, to do something asterisk. But I was paralyzed by a fear so pure and absolute it felt like ice water flooding my veins. I couldn't move. I could only lie there, feigning sleep, while my imagination painted horrifying pictures of what might be standing over me. The smell hit me next, a strange, coppery scent, like old pennies and something else. Something faintly sweet and rotten. It filled my nostrils, making me want to gag. My eyes were squeezed shut so tightly I could see bursts of color behind my eyelids. I focused on my own breathing, trying to keep it even, trying to give away nothing. Don't move, don't make a sound. Maybe it'll go away. The silence stretched on for what felt like an eternity. The breathing had stopped. The smell was fading. Had I imagined it all? Was I having some kind of waking nightmare? Slowly, cautiously, I decided to risk a look. I peeled one eyelid open just a sliver, my gaze directed toward the foot of my bed where I'd heard the sound. The moonlight filtering through my window cast a pale, ghostly glow across the room. There was nothing there, just the familiar shape of my laundry basket and a pile of books. Relief washed over me so powerfully it almost made me dizzy. It was nothing, just an old house, an overactive imagination, and a lack of sleep. I took a deep, shaky breath, the first real one I'd taken in minutes. I was an idiot. A paranoid idiot who needed to stop watching so many horror movies before bed. I rolled over, turning my back to the room, and punched my pillow into a more comfortable shape. I was exhausted. The adrenaline crash left me feeling heavy and drained. Sleep was calling to me now, promising to erase the lingering fear and the memory of the phantom footsteps. My eyelids felt like lead weights. I was on the very edge of sleep, that wonderful, blissful moment where consciousness begins to dissolve into dreams. My mind was drifting, letting go of the tension that had gripped my body. I was safe, I was alone, and then a whisper. It wasn't just in the room, it was directly in my ear. A dry, raspy voice, a chorus of voices speaking as one, so close the sound vibrated against my eardrum. It was a chilling, sibilant sound, and it spoke just 6 words that have haunted me ever since. 6 words that turned my blood to ice and stole my breath away. It said, "We wait until you sleep." I didn't scream. I didn't even flinch. The fear was beyond that. It was a cold, hard certainty that settled deep in my bones. I lay there, rigid, until the first rays of sunlight broke through my window. I didn't sleep a second more that night. I didn't dare. As soon as it was light, I packed a bag, left everything else behind, and walked out of that apartment. I never went back. I called the landlord from a payphone and told him to keep the security deposit. He could have the furniture, the clothes, everything. I didn't care. Since that night, I've never slept alone. I can't. I've had roommates, stayed on friends' couches, and now I have a dog, a big, loud German shepherd who sleeps at the foot of my bed. Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I see his ears twitch. He lines lift his head and let out a low growl at an empty corner of the room. And I know they're still waiting. They're patient. But as long as someone or something is awake in the room with me, they just watch. They wait. Because they only come for you when you're truly alone. And after that night, I've sworn I'll never be alone again. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have your own chilling experiences with things that go bump in the night, I'd love to read them in the comments below. Stay safe and maybe leave a light on tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange tales. See you next time.